Welcome to the Board Game Barbecue Podcast, episode number 346, brought to you by Advent Games, More Than Meeples, and our lovely Patreons. This is our special PAX correspondence episode. We're on the floor at PAX. This is Joe. I'm joined by
Adrian.
Jules. Conor.
And we're here. We skipped the little one. He can talk later if he's good enough. But yeah, it's been a wild few days, right, Joe?
Yeah, it has been. It's been really fun. A peek behind the curtain. It's Sunday, the last day of PAX, and we're all pretty tired and cooked, I think. But it's been really fun. Before we start talking about board games, any video game or other gaming-related stuff that you think's been really cool?
Yes, you and I, actually all three of us who weren't working, so Jules, commiserations. Jules has got his eyelids like pinned open with clothes pegs at the moment, so he's done well to get here. We get to line up and play Metro Prime 4, which was amazing. I thought it was amazing. I'm looking at two people who don't think that's the case. One just threw a ghost punch at me. I've been waiting for this game for so long. So really lucky, really grateful to get in and try it. It was like a maybe 5 to 10 minute demo, and just maybe excited for December when it came out. And I think, Joe, you might know better, there's a new Cult of the Lamb DLC or maybe like a secondary version coming out, and that looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, so there was a Cult of the Lamb DLC that's coming out soon. I got to buy Cult of the Lamb merch, which I'd missed out on last year. Stupidly, so I was very happy I got to do that. One of the games that I love. I always love at PAX playing the indie video games, and so there's a couple of really cool indie video games. One called Bits and Bops, which is like a rhythm game, which you can wishlist on Steam. It was so much fun. I just laugh and laugh when I play that game. It was really cool. What about you, Adie?
I mean, I like some of the titles of the games. There's an Aussie Bogan Hunter or something. What was that? Like, there's a bunch. What's the football one? The AFL one?
It's called Pro Jank Footy, so it's based around Aussie rules. And there's two way more famous podcasts than us, the Auntie Donna podcast and Broden Kelly, or the Footy with Broden Kelly. And Broden Kelly is a massive footy fan, and he does the commentary for it. He puts on a voice, and he does, So
and also, I really enjoyed. We got to play a lot of pinball this morning. We were very lucky to get into the pinball area early and play some pinball machines. I got to play Elton John pinball machine, which was great. The Dune pinball machine, which was amazing. It had the box. What's the box called again? The Goncha bar with the needle to the neck, and he puts his hand in the box. That comes up out of the pinball machine, and then you have to hold the middle button down and then use the paddle, so you have to swap hands and stuff to keep it alive. It was really fun. There's lots of really gamey parts of these pinball machines. So
they've also got this section, the retro gaming section as well, which is amazing when you've been playing video games as long as some of us have, and you walk through and it's like, I own that console, I own this console, and I explained to Finn that when I got the Super Nintendo for Christmas, I got it with the Game Boy as well, and we just sort of had to say, that was like getting an Xbox with a Nintendo Switch at the same time, so it was pretty cool.
How about you, Jules? Have you been let out of your cage to play any of the video game content?
No video game content for me. I've been very busy making sure people are happy, hydrated, and lots of demos going on. But it's been really cool to see. It feels like there's a lot of new things at PAX this year that we haven't seen before. New trading card games, new board games. Just, all around been really, really cool to see.
It's been awesome. It's not a video game podcast, however. We're a board gaming podcast, so let's talk some board games. Why don't we throw to our special guest children's correspondent and find out what Finn has been thinking about the games that he's played.
So I played Exhibit, and it was a really fun game when you bid on art and then you sell it with different groups. I also liked Coyote, which was a game where you do actions and physical. It's a dexterity game, and you do the Weeble Rock You Beat and then do a fun action or something.
What was the one that you kept laughing at me for? What was the action?
You have to slap your face and say bad whatever your name is, and he kept going, and he had to say meow after everything, so he was going bad Conor meow.
There was another one too. I had to bock like a chicken and then say meow as well, or like a fake fart.
Yeah, he had to go meow.
So it's made by the same people that make Exploding Kittens and what's the trolley again? It was the Trouble Trolley. So the oatmeal, and you've got actions that you need to replace it. It was really fun. We had lots of people come across and be like, "What's going on here?" Finn was the MVP. I think, of it. So he made it the most fun.
MVP, you mean most worst player? MWP? No, I'm joking, Finn. It was really fun. It was like a mixture of like taco, cat, goat cheese pizza, and Cheers to the Governor. I felt like the actions that you're doing, and then having to remember the sequence. I thought it was really cool.
I like though that with the actions you pick up 3 actions, you look at them and you get to add them yourself. So essentially the bok bok chicken, you might pick that up as a card and you can place that anywhere in the order, which changes the order of the way people do these actions. But not only that, there's other attack cards like in Exploding Kittens where you can target attack people. So that's how Conor ended up with the meow, because the first card I pulled out, there was 3. There was one to add an action, one to add an action to a certain color of cards, and then the other one was make a player say meow after everything they do. And I instantaneously gave it to Conor at the very start of the first round. So he was meowing for about 20 minutes for the whole game. And yeah, it's just fun, man. Like, it's a really chilled out, fun game. We all enjoyed it. I mean, it's the perfect environment and the perfect time to play something like that for sure. So
We managed to get a game of Cheers to the Governor in as well. So shout out to Lauren, who can't be here at the moment. So we did get Cheers to the Governor going. We took some liberties, and so I think there was 8 people, and it was pretty hectic. We had some funny ones. You had to say the end is near. I think for number 8 that was the case. There was finger guns. So you had to do finger guns. So it was a bit like the Wiggles. There was, had to speak in a low voice to do a funny face. So like I said, we took some liberties, but that was really good too. Jules, I know you haven't got to play a lot, but there was something that the line, it was never empty at all. Like, it was so popular. And I'll talk about it, what happened at one point with the spoilers evacuation that occurred and the scenarios that happened after that. What was that game? Because I think it was the most popular game here.
Yeah, so that's Riftbound. It's a new trading card game based off the League of Legends IP. So that's going to pull in a lot of people. It's millions and millions of people around the world play the video game still. But yeah, I got to play that at PAX. That's pretty much the only game I've had a chance to play. But it's a really easy to pick up trading card game. You're not really attacking the direct player like you would in Magic the Gathering and get him down to 0 health. It's a game where you're racing to points. So kind of like Lorcana in that regard. So you're trying to control locations between the 2 players, and you do that by summoning heroes and creatures and things like that. There's spells to destroy things. It's pretty simple, but it's been so popular. The lines, people are reporting waiting 2 hours to play this. That's probably longer than some of the video games, which is pretty cool to hear about, that it's got that much hype and attention. I wish we could have more tables and space to run that, but it's just really awesome to see the hype and the excitement for the game that releases October 31st. So it's not far away, but it's just been awesome to see that, and I've really enjoyed playing the game.
yeah, that queue did not dissipate at all. I remember we left here at approximately 10:30 at night, and it was the last people in the queue were getting seen, and there was actually the lady with the sign at the back of the queue saying this is the end of the queue, so that she could follow the queue round through the queue itself, so it would eventually finish, because as soon as there was a bit of a space in that queue section for it, people were joining that queue consistently. And as Conor mentioned earlier, there was a little bit of an evacuation situation where we all had to vacate the building due to a fire alarm or whatever, and we all left. And I have never seen the sort of Black Friday mentality of like in real life. I've seen it on YouTube plenty and TikTok and stuff, but never seen people running to get to that, because when people realize that no one's in that queue, it was like a free fall. So people were gunning straight for that, which was, hey, it shows that there's big demand for that game. We got to play it. We all really enjoyed it. We were lucky enough to actually get a deck each at the end. It's like a sample deck, and we also got a promo card, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I think it's definitely a mix of Magic the Gathering and Lorcana and Altered, like a little bit of everything. It's good. Like, Finn loved it. What did you think, bud?
I quite liked playing Jinx against Conor, because she's really aggressive at the start, and she's got very low cards, but she's got a lot of them, and she can just play them consistently. And at one point in the game, I had 3 of my cards in Conor's base, and he could only kill 1 of them. So I just consistently kept getting points every round for having them in his base.
How many times did you play, Connor?
Twice.
How many times did you win?
Twice.
That's fair. That tracks. It's confirmed, Connor?
That is confirmed. It's not going to surprise anyone, I don't think, based on... Look, I'll put it out there. It's not as embarrassing as losing to Dana at Altered last year. I'm much more happy to beat Finn. It's being made by Riot in-house, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. So it's actually designed by Riot Games, but being published through a publisher called Universes. But Riot Games have been well known for doing other board games like Mechs and Minions, which have been really solid. So that's why I'm quite excited about it. It's been a long time in development. The artwork is really cool as well. There's already a second set that's been announced that will be coming sometime next year. So yeah, lots to see in that space.
What do you guys think about the general showing from a tabletop point of view at PAX this year?
I think that they've changed the layout here, right? And I think that actually worked better for me. It felt really busy on the Saturday. It always feels busy on a Saturday. But things kept flowing and moving. But just the general presentation of board games. I mean, I know that we're going to talk about Riftbound again, but essentially it had a 200-inch screen on the side of it with cards jumping in the air and turning into the characters and then machine gunning things, and it just looked so high production. It was phenomenal. And then you had The Sims had a thing which looked really cool, and there's another one that looked really good, and they were doing just basically a higher production all round. Like, it just looks more, I want to say Gen Con in a way, because it's the only thing I can look at that feels like that. But I just feel that the sort of interaction, maybe you're not interacting with it, but stuff to look at and see is just a high production all the way around. So,
what do you reckon, Jules?
Yeah, the production of booths has absolutely gone to another level this year. I will proudly say most of that's probably our stuff, but no, Asmodee have put on a really good showing as well. But it's exciting to see that because there is a good turnout to PAX each year, people can commit to making these bigger booth builds, more impressive things like Adrian was mentioning before. There's a giant screen that we have for Riftbound with a sick animation video that's been playing non-stop. So expect to see more of that sort of stuff at PAX and maybe some other conventions in Australia as well. just saying. But it's really, really cool to see this growing, and you're absolutely right. Your comparison to Gen Con is spot on. The production that a lot of publishers put into that space is phenomenal when you get to go and see it. But they still do have the humble little booths that we see at PAX. There's plenty of those at Gen Con. But yeah, really, really cool to see that step up in elevation. We're coming for the video game hall.
The one thing I'll say I was a little bit disappointed by, if you don't know, PAX has like a indie select, or like a PAX Rising section where they select both indie video games and indie Australian board games to kind of showcase. And for the tabletop games, they're separate from the tabletop area. They're in the video game space. I felt like a lot of the games were very similar to the games from last year that were in the selects section. And I feel like I wish there was a bit more diversity in the games that are being presented. I felt like they prioritize games that were more, I guess, at the production stage, where people are selling them, for example, rather than really cool indie prototypes. You'll hear an interview from Pav in a second. I thought Pav's game was awesome. For a prototype, it was well produced. I thought that would have been excellent as a indie select, and it just wasn't. So what do you reckon, Conor?
No, I agree, and I think we really enjoy heading to the TDGA section, which is also known as the Collaboratory, where there's a lot of play testing. So as Joe alluded to, that section is more about play testing the games. They're not selling products at the moment. Like, the whole idea is make a really refined demo, show it off, say this is the idea behind it, but there's not really, for the vast majority, there's not any games for sale. There are a couple, sort of like independently designed ones. So, for example, Chris Anthony was selling Prize Fighter, for example, but that's a much smaller production. I love spending time in the Collaboratory and doing the playtesting. I think we forged some really great relationships with people there. We're going to feature a lot of these interviews, partway through this episode. I agree with you about Pav's game. We got to play it this morning, and I think he knocked it out of the park. Even he would say it's a labour of love. He's not expecting it to be produced. I would definitely throw my substantial physical weight behind it as a product, because I think it's ready to go. He just needs someone to and he makes some fantastic games too. One of the other highlights was Chris's game, which was Exhibit, which Finn talked about. I think Finn Did you come second in that game? By 1 point, Joe had just dabbed on his haters' graves, so that's great. I love to see that. I also got to play, well, we just played a game called Village Island, or Island Village. Island Village, apologise to Andrew. So that was a little bit different because that had really high production value, and I think that's the difference. That's what I like to see. Is some people turn up with almost just like ideas on paper, and that's great because their priority is getting the gameplay fun. It doesn't matter if it's just sleeve bits of paper and it works. And then other times you're looking at things that are already partway through the production stage, have some production behind it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I remember Matt Dunstan and Phil Walker-Harding had a talk here, maybe our first or second year, and they just said there's no right or wrong way of doing it. This is how we go about it. Adi, how do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I mean, the mixture of games there is great, and the mixture of the quality of, prototyping is amazing. I mean, some people have very high-level, fully plastic-printed, amazing prototypes, and some people have very basic sheets of paper, and that's just as good. Like, it's all about them guys getting their play tests done so they can get that data, get that information to basically sort of pass that on to themselves and, reflect on that and see how they feel about that afterwards. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, the exhibit game was fantastic. I think that was a standout game for me personally. I like bidding games. I enjoy bidding games. I don't like set collection as much, but I did enjoy that one because you really begrudge people taking your sets away from you, and you will make silly bets that you're not supposed to make, but you just have to have that card rather than Joe have that card.
Yeah, something Chris Anthony every prototype of his I've played has been so polished and basically pretty much done. I'm the opposite to you, AD. I love set collection, don't love bidding, but I really enjoyed Exhibit. I thought it was really good. It was really fun. Even though you were trying to mess me up a lot, I still won and beat your son by 1 point. It was extremely fun. Done it again. I think my game that most impressed me was Pav's game, Moonforge. You'll hear an interview from Pav as well. It just blew me away. It was not like anything I've ever played before. It was like a resource management, engine building game where the orientation of things is really important. So there's also like a placement puzzle. It was just really cool. I really liked it a lot. And if you get a chance to play the prototype at some stage, I would highly, highly recommend.
If you're part of our Discord, Pav is constantly playtesting games on our Discord too. He has made some absolutely phenomenal prototypes, including a campaign game that is one of the most incredible prototypes I've ever seen. So please do reach out to him. He is on Discord, so go and do that. The last one I'll quickly talk about is Kyle Jarrett's made a game that's very different from his previous game that I played. So his previous game that I played last year was called Architects, and that was a 2 to 3 player head-to-head area control deck building game. This one here is called Rummy Island, or he said Or Island Rummy, because the way that the title is, it's one of those. He's got a name for it. I can't remember, but it's the same upside down as it is. Anyway, that's a particular name. It's Rummy Island, so it's like Rummy Cub, but you're building islands and then burying treasure and trying to make runs, and you can intersect on other people's islands and muck with other people's islands that they've played. It's really, really fun. And I won't give away why he came up with this design because I think it's quite endearing, but make sure you stick around and listen to why he's come up with that design. So that was really, really, really fun.
So what about some of the community and stuff that we've got to do with some of those guys this week? We had the Patreon breakfast, which was always amazing. Like, it's lovely to see everybody, catch up with everybody throughout the whole event, even non-Patreon people. Like Sully is a dude that I only see at PAX, and he's just a legend. He's lovely to catch up with.
So Sully, shout out to Sully, he jumped in with our Cheers to the Governor game because when we walked in on the Friday, he bailed us up and was like, we've got to play a game, and he was busy with Lorcana, we were busy doing our thing, so it was great that he could jump in and play a game with us.
Anyone that attends this event and comes for mainly board gaming, and video gaming as well, there's never enough time. Like, you always run out of time. And I personally have learned big lessons. The first PAX I came to, I had Pampero, and I think I had Barrage and Pipeline with me. Big up to the heavy gamers that are here, but you're crazy. But now I don't bring any of those games. In fact, I didn't bring any games this year because all the little games I had, Joe already had copies of. And I've played nothing heavy at all. All card games, all very chilled out and high interaction and things like that. I know the guys all got to play Bristol last night. I didn't get to play, but I know Conor did with a bunch of the guys, and he had a blast. And some people's first Bristol game, which was great. And then it unlocked memories from last year's Bristol game and even the year before that where Dan got kicked out. R.I.P. Dan. Sorry about that, bro. But it's just great. And it's also lovely to see like a lot of the community members that have been on our Discord that all get to meet each other, maybe for the first time or the second time, and they all hang around with each other, and then everyone's sort of communally growing this sort of little section where we all end up playing games in the evening together.
It's just so nice. I think my experience this PAX compared to, 4 PAXs ago is the Board Game Barbecue community just have this network of friends where you just run into people, you've got people to play with. It just makes PAX a much less lonely experience, I think. So if you're listening and you haven't joined the community, highly recommend you join our Discord and join our Facebook and get involved, and you'll find friends all over the country.
Just talking about that, it feels like we add another couple of people as the years go by, bits and pieces. So it's friends of friends, or like in the past we've talked about like our good buddy Jace, like he's brought his family along, so we all met them. So his nieces and his daughter. I know Tom keeps bringing along more and more friends, and they become part of our cult. And shout out to everyone who played a game with my brother. So I talk about T-Mac a lot on the show. Obviously we've got a really special relationship. And yeah, it was just great for him to finally meet a lot of people that I talk about, or we've even played games together online before, and he's just able to put a face to a name now, which is awesome, so thank you.
When I found out it was your brother, I just wanted to hug him for no reason. I was just like, yay, it's a Conor thing, like, he's a Conor DNA. Like, yeah, it was great. And also, like, massive thanks to everyone that sort of played games with Finn as well, because this is Finn's first PAX, and he got to meet a lot of new people this year, but also some people that you probably recognise from PlayCon. So how have you found it being a youngster at PAX?
I found it pretty fun, and it was nice to meet a lot of people that I've heard about and seen at PlayCon and play some games with them. I played Seas of Strife, and it was really fun, and you can just mess with people and flip the game, and I just like that. And I also got to play Trickeris, and I came third, and I made a big comeback at the end because I was 6th place, and I made it to third because someone hit the sun and went behind me, went in front of me, then I skipped over everyone.
Yeah, nice. I mean, this is Finn's real first sort of foray into trick-taking games because they are quite a complicated mechanic when you haven't really used it before. I know Joe is one of those people that's kind of hasn't fully loved the trick-taking genre because he didn't grow up with it, so maybe this will change Finn. But we've played them before, but he's never really took off to them. But as soon as in Seas of Strife he realized he could just mess with everybody, especially me, it was just, he really enjoyed it. He was just completely in for the game. So sweet.
Well, you've got a round of excellent interviews with a bunch of indie Australian local game designers. Enjoy that, and we'll catch up with you at the end. We are here with Pavlov Shankar. We just got to play another prototype, Moonforge. How are you doing, Pav?
I'm good, thanks.
How's your PAX been so far?
It's been really good. I've done some playtesting on Friday. I had my son here on Saturday, so we did a lot of walking around and saw a lot of cool stuff.
Very good, very good. So we got to play one of your new prototypes, Moonforge. It's all about, you've got like a facility where you are collecting asteroids, mining them for their resources, and it's kind of like a placement kind of puzzle. It was really cool. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit more about the game?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, it's about extracting resources from asteroids. It's a space game. It has an element of spatial puzzle where you're building your engine, and it depends where things are to make this engine more efficient. At the same time, you'll have a deck of cards that you're also building to manipulate elements of your facility and to manipulate the asteroids to get stuff out. And yeah, the whole game is about the balance between how much cards you want to spend to actually get the most minerals, and also how much you want to keep for later to build up your engine. Because to build up new modules into your facility to get more stuff, you need to discard cards from your hand that are left over from your play. So you have to make that decision. Yeah, and the engine, as you go along, it speeds up. It gets to a satisfying point at later in the game where you can put an asteroid in and actually get all the minerals out of it without ever touching your cards.
It was very cool. I think there are a few fun kind of elements to it where you're at the spatial puzzle of the extractors going and having the asteroid in a particular orientation to extract the most out of the asteroid. There was the card play that I thought was really interesting. And like you said, that tension between, do I play my cards to get the most out of the asteroid and extract it? Or do I save them to then be able to purchase new modules in the future? It was really cool. I've never really played a game like it. It was very cool to play.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
We're at It's Sunday, we're at the end of PAX. We've been asking people what they're fired up about in terms of PAX. What do you think?
Oh, look, first of all, I've been here, that's my 4th year, I think, and I always think that the tabletop space gets busier and busier, and this year as well, especially like the testing area here in Collaboratory, there's always people there. It wasn't always like that. Yeah, if I had to pick my favorite, there's a game a couple of tables down, which is called, I think, Island Village, which is just the right type. If I could buy a prototype, I would. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen Island Village. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. It looks very good. Hopefully we'll get a chance to play it. Thanks so much for your time, Pav.
No worries. Thanks for coming by.
Okay, we're here with Andrew Carpenter, who's a local designer from Adelaide. We got to play his game Island Village, which is a prototype. How's your PAX been, Andrew?
It's been fantastic. I've had a lot of positive feedback on the game, and we've had lots of people come through for the area. No trouble finding players. The area is still packed right now. It's amazing.
You're very lucky. Your game is very colourful. It looks really nice on a table, so I think it very easily attracts people. I'm sure you had no problem filling the seats.
Yeah, I think so. I think the table presence helped.
Tell us, so what was the inspiration behind Island Village? Tell us, if people haven't heard of it, what it's about and all that sort of stuff.
It's a relatively recent design. It was inspired based on some components I had available at the time, and I just started experimenting with them, came up with some ideas. And that resulted in using Tetris-style pieces to build up an island, and we extended that to have villagers that would be living on that island, and it's worked out well.
Yeah, so it's a really colourful game. You've got these polyomino-style tiles that you've 3D printed. It's very 3D in the way the game interacts with space. So you've got levels in the game, and essentially you're trying to have some adjacency kind of scoring with your houses, which is the dice that you've got on the island next to these certain fields, for example. What's your plans for the game? Do you have an idea?
I'm going to try and see if I can find a publisher for it. Being a component-heavy game with lots of moulding that would be required for production, I would rather find a publisher who's experienced than try and figure all that out for myself. But one way or another, I'm going to turn this into a published game.
Yeah, I'd be very, very happy to own a copy of your game. It was really fun to play. It was a nice 30-minute, 45-minute game. It was great. We are asking everybody what's got you fired up this PAX in 2025.
As always, it's the Collaboratory area, which is where the prototypes are played. I've spent almost all of my time here. I like playing other people's games and getting the experience of seeing how people are developing theirs.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're here at the Collaboratory with Rob Vella, who is playtesting and demoing Going the Distance. So how you going, Rob? How's PAX been so far?
It's been amazing. We've had so much interest in the game. So we've never had a free moment. It's been demoing, and people enjoying the game, and it's just been fantastic.
Very good. So it's based around boxing and sort of, I guess, not quite turn of the century, but a little bit post turn of the century boxing.
It's 30s and 40s, yeah. So it's like the golden age of boxing, where it was a massive sport. Everybody in the world knew who the heavyweight champion of the world was. Yeah, it was one of the biggest sports in the world, and there was only one heavyweight champion. There was only one welterweight champion. Okay, well, these days there's about 50 champions. So it was the golden age. Yeah, until a few scandals rocked the sport. So.
Can you play through some of those scandals in this, or have you? Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are mob-backed boxers, so they can actually turn the tide of a fight if they get away with it. So there's dirty fighting in the game as well, so they can do illegal punches. But the ref's always watching, so it's whether they get away with it or not. So it can actually lose them the fight as well.
Okay, so it's a card-based game. Yep. So tell us a little bit about the game itself, how long you have been developing the game for, and then what the future of the game is in sort of the next year or so.
Okay, so it's a hand management game. So you're programming cards, simultaneous action. Okay, so and then you resolve them one by one. Okay, so you've played 3, you flip them over, you resolve the first one, then you resolve the second one. Okay, and there's 10 different card types. Okay, so you've got your 3 basic cards, light, medium, and heavy, and there's a scissor, paper, rock mechanic. So a light beats a heavy, a medium beats a light, and a heavy beats a medium. And that's basically how it works. There's more to it than that, but but that's where the action is. Okay, so there's a lot of defensive cards as well, so you can evade the punches, you can block the punches, Okay, your boxer gets tired during the fight, so that you'll get fatigue into your deck, and block cards are the only way to get them out. So, and once fatigue is in your hand, the only way you can get rid of them is by playing them. So that leaves your boxer vulnerable. So it simulates. It's a good simulation of boxing, because when your boxer is tired, they're vulnerable, and that's when they can get really hurt during the round. If you're ever forced to play 3 of those fatigue cards down, that will lose you the fight as well. So you'll lose by technical knockout, because you can no longer defend yourself anymore. So there's a few ways you can win and lose. Obviously by knockout, you can get knocked out unconscious if they really hit you hard. Okay, you can get disqualified if you keep on fighting dirty, you keep on getting caught. Yeah, you can lose via injury if you're really unlucky, if your cuts man is not doing his job, because you've got a whole team working around you as well. Like the trainer plays a part in the game, the cut man plays a part in the game as well. So they can, if you actually get injured, they have to heal you, and if not, you've got a handicap for the rest of the game. Yeah, so in terms of where the game is going, so we're looking to go to Kickstarter early next year. So we've got the preview page up on Kickstarter if people want to check it out. Our website is goingthedistancegame.com, and if it's successful, we have a long future plan for the game, for the system.
I played this at PlayCon, and it was fantastic. I think you said it's a simulation, and sometimes, I think we talked about this when I played at PlayCon, sometimes simulations can get a bit bogged down and feel a little bit too realistic. I think you've got enough character and charm in the game, and it's fun to the point where it is a simulation, but there's still a real true game behind that. How much of a conscious effort did you make to ensure that was the case?
Okay, so a lot of boxing games I've seen out there that are either really light or really complex. My goal from the start was to make something that was in between. So I'm kind of a medium weight game. So it has tactics, it has strategy, it has crunch, but not overwhelmingly so. So we want to keep the theme in it, and the theme is very central to the game. Okay, it's a simulation, but there's also characters in the game that are larger than life, and the boxers actually have relationships with each other, and that can actually affect the fight as well. If one boxer actually really detests the other boxer, they might hit harder, or they might they're just determined to stay up if they get tired. So so it can affect the game in that way. So it was a fine line we had to balance, and that was our goal. To have something that was really immersive and thematic, but at the same time not over complex. So that was a fine line we had to go down, I guess, and I think we've achieved it.
I think you have to. Like I said, it's really fun. It's been great to see you be absolutely flooded with people wanting to play the game. Like you said, haven't had a free moment. I know this is your first PAX, which is fantastic. So what we've been asking all the people that we've had a chat to, what's got you fired up about PAX?
Oh, it's just such a big event. It's just a big experience. It's just a big opportunity to show the game and to see other games. I've really enjoyed seeing some of the other games here. There was one guy, I can't remember the name of his game, but it's a courtroom game. And it's very immersive as well. They were making speeches about court cases and stuff like that. So it was awesome to see all the other games coming up as well. That's been the highlight for me too. So showing off my game, but also seeing the other games, seeing what's the content of board games in the Australian industry has been awesome, and the TGDA has done a fantastic job running the event here too. So yeah, it's been an awesome experience. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, all the best for the Kickstarter campaign for next year. I'm really hoping you got some success. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people that want to play a true boxing simulation game, a bit of fun. So yeah, thanks for having a chat, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks very much, Conor.
No worries, dude.
We are here at PAX 2025, and I am sat here with Daniel Marin, who is the designer of Orbits Beyond. This is a game that actually featured at PlayCon and Designer Alley this year as well in 2025, and there's undergone quite a lot of changes and things like that. How did you find the changes, and what did you find from being at PlayCon to being at PAX now? How the game's changed, how it's evolved, and what were some of the inspirations behind the game?
Yeah, okay, I'll start with the first question. So, with this game, Orbits Beyond, in the past, I've put a lot of time and development into a game before I've exhibited it. But this time I wanted to create something a bit more raw, like a little bit earlier in development. Take it, play test it with people, and really just destroy it in its first iteration and come back with something that takes on all of the feedback in such an early state. So what I've come to PAX with is something that's quite different to what I came to PlayCon with, but for all the right reasons. I've taken on a lot of feedback and I've had a lot of capacity to reinvent what I had prior to what I have now. The inspiration for the game comes from a hobby that I had about 10 years ago when I was in high school. I really got into drawing different planets, different things about space. I just really got into space art. So I wanted to revisit that and give that a shot again and create some planets, create some artwork in space. And I've also got a mate who's really into astrophysics as well. He inspired me a lot with his knowledge and his passion for all kinds of different things about exoplanets and planets beyond our own solar system. So yeah, it kind of came together like that this year.
Nice. Well, we got to play the game ourselves, and it's really good. It's really in my wheelhouse. It's my kind of a game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely a game that you'd probably play on the first time, and you'd realise a lot of your mistakes halfway through the game, and then build on that, and then you actually can form pretty good kind of cohesive strategies going forward. Do you find it quite hard to play test a game that's quite complex compared to something that's a lightweight dexterity game or a family party game? What are some of the complications and challenges that come with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially at these conventions where there's obviously a noise level, there's a lot of excitement going on around you, you've really got to find some people that you can sort of capture and lock in focused for a good half an hour to an hour. One thing that I've had to do is create a bit more of a demo version where a game that would regularly take 60 to 90 minutes will instead take anywhere from like 30 to 45 minutes. So it's half the game that it would normally be. But making sure that all of the elements are still in there that are core to the game so people get a really good impression of everything that's there. So that can be hard knowing what to cut and what to keep for this sort of demoing. But it's important to make sure that it's cut down and it's not the complete game, just so you can get through more groups of people, receive more data, receive more feedback that way. So I found, that works. But it is definitely more challenging than I think coming in with something that's going to be a 10-15 minute dexterity game or simplified party game. But that's okay. That's a challenge that I get excited about, and trying to figure out how to approach that is something that motivates me.
Yeah, nice. Well, we wish you all the best. And just one last question we're asking all the designers. What are you fired up for most about PAX? What's going to excite you for the rest of the convention itself?
Yeah, I think that's something that really gets me excited about, especially being here at Collaboratory, is testing everyone else's games out and seeing how other people solve problems. It's very easy to get sort of trapped in your own echo chamber, coming up with solutions to things and just going around in circles. But when you expose yourself to other people's mindsets and how they solve design issues, that's like mind expanding. It really helps you approach things in different ways. So that's what I'm always excited to do, test other people's games.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best with Orbits Beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
We are here with Ryan Boucher, a local designer who is the designer of Timbertown. If you came to PlayCon, you also would have possibly tried his prototype Gondola Gophers, which is one of my favourite games that I've played recently. How's your PAX been, Ryan?
It's been excellent. I've been here just 2 days, Friday and Sunday. Spent a lot of my time demoing, and it's been really good to have people down playing the game, get excited about it. It's a game that really works well when people play it and they get to experience it. It's been a lot of fun.
If people haven't heard of Timbertown before, do you want to give a little tagline about what the game's about, what it is?
Timbertown, the main thing to know about this one is the river between the two players. The tiles flow down the river, and when you take a tile, it has to come into the column that it's in now. So you have to wait for that right moment. I like to say it's a game where you regret your own decisions rather than the decisions of other people.
That's every game for me. But so Timbertown's a currently self-published game. It's available to purchase, is that right?
It is not a self-published game, no. This one was published in the UK by Alley Cat Games, but I retain the rights for it, and so the Australian copies are published by me, so you should try and find an Australian copy. Support your local designers.
Does it feel different demoing a game that's already been published compared to a prototype?
Definitely, and it feels different demoing this game versus my other game, because this is a game that people want to play, and it's a really nice feeling demoing a game that people enjoy.
How can people get a copy of Timbertown in Australia?
You can buy it from the Seabrook Studios shop, or you could find your local friendly board game store, because it is in distribution as well, and ask them for it, and if they haven't, they'll just order it from me anyway.
A question we're asking everybody is, what's got you fired up this PAX in 2025?
I don't know if I have a good answer for that. It feels like last PAX to me. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a downer on that one.
Oh no! Maybe it's like a consolidation of your design. Maybe that's what it is.
It's been an amazing opportunity from TGDA to have a space to demo my game without having to buy a booth. And that's been excellent because at some point in the future I want to run my own booth, and having that chance to do that has been amazing. And so thank the TGDA for allowing that to happen.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Ryan.
Thank you.
We're here at the TGDA Collaboratory at PAX, and I'm sitting here with Stephen Makowicz, and we've just played his game Brick by Brick. Stephen, what gave you the inspiration to start even making your own dexterity game?
The inspiration behind wanting to make a dexterity game stems from playing games at Christmas with family and friends and wanting to have something a little bit different than Jenga, something that wasn't a lose condition, something that was a win condition, and something that caused chaos more than once. So that was my idea, and I sort of wanted to work on how I could implement that. And one day on a drive to work, I had a thought about what if I use bricks in some sort of way that are all the same, but very sort of rough edged, and that's where it stemmed from, and this is where it's sort of gotten up to now.
Well, we just played the game with myself, Conor, Mark and Finn. It was actually a really close game. It went down to sudden death at the end, and I got myself knocked out by my own stupidity. But I really like the fact that it does have these challenge cards, and it is a win condition game rather than a instantly one player loses and that's it, the game finishes. So do you not like those types of games where it has someone that's the big loser essentially?
Yeah, I like a game where you can win and you can get yourself back into it. Jenga is a game that is very much a lot of climax to a big finish and then it's all done and dusted. I wanted a game that allowed you to have a chance all the way through, that you can get yourself back in and it gets more and more chaotic. There's always some tension and there's a little bit of ambiguity with some of the bricks falling off, something like that. I wanted something that was very much had table presence but good family orientated game styling, and that's hopefully what I'm trying to aim for and hopefully succeeding in achieving that.
Yeah, it definitely succeeds in that for me for sure. And I mean, my son played it and he is not a dexterity fan, but he really enjoyed it and it was a great game. We all enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully we can see this thing on Kickstarter or something soon. Do you have plans for this game? Like, are you going to try and look to self-publish or take it to publishers and see if you can get them to get on board?
I'd love to take it to publishers. That's my goal. I want to give it its best chance to get out there in as much scale as possible. I feel like this is a game that has good potential to scale and be like a game off the shelf. I don't know if I could achieve that on my own through a Kickstarter, so I'd love to work with a publisher and do something through that route. And there's a little bit of interest around it, but I'm always interested in more interest around it. So that's the plan.
And just one last question that we're asking all the designers. What has you fired up and excited about being at PAX?
Oh, that's a really good question. This is my first time here at PAX, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm really interested to see. As a game designer, I'm really keen to see other people's games, and I'm really keen to see what people migrate towards in terms of like just casual players. I really am keen to see how people get involved and what they like and what they're sort of more being drawn to nowadays, whether it's, you know, long Euro style games or whether it's, you know, 30 to an hour long games, or if it's something like this, it's within that 10 to 20 minute game bracket. So I'm really keen to just see what people are liking. That's my goal.
Well, from my own personal experience, my very first PAX, I brought Pampero, which is a heavyweight Euro about energy efficiency in Uruguay, and I've never brought a heavy game since because it is more fun playing these highly interactive, quicker games, and they're so much easier to carry, they're so much more fun, more interaction, and it's very hard to play the bigger, heavier games in such a active environment. So, but yeah, all the best at PAX. I wish you all the best, and thanks for your time.
No problem. Thank you so very much for playing my game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get to see more of it in the future.
Sweet. Thank you.
Okay, so we're here with Kyle Jarrett, and I just played his new game called Rummy Island. Is that right?
Island Rummy?
Island Rummy? Rummy Island. It's upside down. I don't know which way
It's an ambigram.
That is so cool. No, it's amazing. It's a bit different to your last game that you had last year, which is Architect. So you mentioned your inspiration behind it. So what's the inspiration behind a smaller card game as opposed to Architects, which was a sort of a two-player battler deck builder game?
Literally a game I can play with my mum. I think like as an adult, with your parents, you sort of realise, sometimes all you have in common with them is that you're family. But I think like playing a card game is something that I could actually have in common with my mum, so I'm a bit over playing the classics, so designed a new one.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a rummy game?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the game itself and why you went for the twist that you did.
Basically just like rediscovering Rummikub with the tiles, or a Mahjong style game, and just wishing that I could do what I've done in Island Rummy, where you can have intersecting melds, so you can have a straight, and then crossing that like a crossword, you can have a set of numbers as well, which is a fun little puzzle and almost therapeutic. It feels like just playing out the cards and making the islands as you do on the table.
It was really cool. One thing that I struggled with, and it wasn't because you weren't clear on the rules, was you can't go larger than a 4x4. And what I found interesting was at some point people would effectively cut off the 4x4 grid, so I couldn't go any further. So at a 9, because it had already been cut off at the 4x4, I couldn't make it a 10, and so on and so forth. So how does that make the game a little bit more unique than, I guess, like Mahjong or Rummy?
Yeah, it just gives that little extra restriction. Tied in with each island, each set of intersecting sets and runs is a maximum of 7, and then it clears. So it's that little extra layer of thinking of, can I put this here, can I not put that there, should I save this? But also the fun of Rummikub, where you can mix and match and rearrange sets on the table. So even if with that restriction, maybe I can use that one from here and make a new one over there, and do this, take that one from there, steal that from you, and that kind of gets fun the more you have on the table.
And there is a little bit of a pirate theme, because you're burying treasure and potentially stealing treasure as well.
True.
So that's a lot of fun. You have the wilds, which you're aware of, so like the jokers, which the gold is. Do these fancy gold... Oh, let's see if I get a bit of ASMR here. These fancy gold tokens come with the game.
That's probably the plan. Maybe like a cards-only version, and we have just scoring cards for points or similar, and then an upgraded version, because they are part of the Pirate Gold poker set we sell, my company, so we have access to those. And so it might be something we co-brand with that and sell as an add-on or a separate thing. So yeah, it could be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good. You make some incredible game components too, so I think your games always look really schmick. And I know that you're sort of continuing as a game developer. You've also got the pickup as well. So tell us a little bit about pickup.
Yeah, so pickup was just solving a me problem of being frustrated picking up cards, like it being difficult and or me digging my nails in and damaging them, which just makes me cringe. And yeah, I sold them some that I made myself at PAX a few years ago. At our company, I had some leftovers. We decided to do a test and sell them, and it worked. So now it's full production and going great guns. I think it's like 30 or 40,000 sold this year. Yeah, it's crazy. It's blown me away. I didn't expect it. One of the best things is that a lot of the feedback and a lot of our customers are actually using it. It's an accessibility tool. So people with like reduced dexterity, arthritis, that sort of thing, who literally struggle, not just me being a fuss ass, it's a little bit difficult to pick up a card. People who literally can't pick up a card or aren't playing games because they can't do that sort of thing, pickup's really helping them. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a great, it blows people's minds away, because you can pick up multiple cards with it. So you've probably seen Colin's company advertise on. No. It's great. And that's was the big feedback that I've seen is the accessibility. The one question we're asking each of the people we interview: what's got you fired up this year about PAX?
I think this year it's honestly the digital stuff. I mean, I'm into video games as well, and the array of stuff on show there this year is like it's over and above the last few years, I think. So it's really impressive. I want to get out a chunk of time so I can probably go check it out. I'm
sure you'll have a little bit of time to get free and go play some games, and maybe you might be able to sneak in after hours, a bit of a lock-in. So hey, all the best for this weekend. It's a great game. Happy to play it again too. And yeah, thanks for having a chat.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
No worries. All right, so we're here with Conan Fennick, also lovely known as Conan the Librarian. Conan is one of the RPG experts here at Games Paradise. Conan, what I want to ask you is, how have you seen the RPG scene change at PAX, and how do you think that is sort of reflected amongst the wider gaming community?
One of the things that I've really noticed in the tabletop role-playing game scene here at PAX is more and more use of indie role-playing games. More people are running them, more people are getting into them, people are expanding their horizons around the basic Dungeons & Dragons and Call of Cthulhu, and I really love to see people expanding their ability to to creatively tell stories, even collaboratively world build. And that's the main highlight for me. It just gets more and more every year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think most people would know, Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, probably the main two that you mentioned. What are some of the more indie-based tabletop role-playing games that you've seen, that either that you've run recently or that you've seen being played here at PAX?
So one of the ones that has been really popular here at PAX is an indie role-playing game called Dread. It uses an interesting escalating suspense mechanic based around a Jenga tower. I sold out of it really quick last year. I'm almost out of it this year. That one has been really popular, and it's like the go-to horror recommendation that I make to people if they're playing with others out of the really indie scene stuff. Super popular.
So yeah, and I've heard of that, and it sounds really cool. Where you're effectively using the Jenga blocks as a time-keeping mechanism, or is that for your ability checks?
It is one that I haven't played myself in quite a while. I believe different elements of the story make you do a normal Jenga piece of moving something up, and inevitably it's going to collapse, which is when it all comes to a head.
So many people may have seen you at PlayCon as well, running lots of tabletop role-playing games, so thank you for that. Why do you think people should come to a convention and play some tabletop role-playing games, maybe rather than try and look to start their group? What are some of the advantages of doing it at a convention rather than trying to sort out their own group?
The advantages of doing it at a convention is that you're going to usually get people running the games that know what they're doing, and they've crafted a story that they've tested within a specific time frame. So you're going to be able to experience a lot of the mechanics of different games, usually with a diverse group of people, though you can sign up with your friends, but you're going to get like a tighter experience, and that will inform you more on what you like that you can then take home. And the more that you come and play games at conventions, the more you get involved with your local community, and you make friends and you meet people, and you can get outside of your own circle, and that just makes your whole life better.
I just can't believe how much it's grown here and as a hobby overall. If you are someone who is looking to get into the tabletop role-playing space, what is some advice you might give people, not just necessarily at a convention space, but maybe just within their wider community, or just looking for a group? What's some advice you can give people?
I would really recommend looking on various websites or apps that are good for meeting people, like meetup.com. There's a lot of role-playing groups on there. Facebook has D&D groups based around like locations like New South Wales or Australia. You could even use After Game, that I know Board Game Barbecue uses a lot, or even Board Game Geek has got, you can put gaming clubs up on there. And all of these are just ways for you to find people nearby you, and then just go and play games. And if you're not sure, go to a local game store and ask the staff. Eventually you're going to find somebody that plays, because we like to work at game stores, and we will 100% try to get you into whatever we're doing.
It's definitely a part of the hobby that I was a little bit cagey in joining, because it is outside the comfort zone, and I think people like to be pushed outside of the comfort zone as well. What are some of the rewarding aspects? Probably asking you kind of like to pick your favourite child, but what are some of the most rewarding aspects of being part of an RPG group, or even running a session as an RPG DM?
So one of the most rewarding things for me, with neurodivergent people in particular, there's a large representation of that community in role-playing games and other tabletop games. And the more that you do this in person, the more that you will develop your own social skills, because a lot of us neurodivergent people would otherwise trend towards jobs that we can do remotely, getting all of that stuff remotely. We can really cut down on how much we interact with people. So becoming involved in face-to-face tabletop gaming will make you more social, and that is only healthy for mental health benefits, physical benefits, everything.
Yeah, and I've mentioned my sessions with Dungeons and Dragons with people like Mark or Rays as they're known, so it's just been fantastic for that. And it is just a way, and we do that online and virtually, so that is an option too. The one question we're asking people is that what's had you fired up about PAX this year?
For me, the thing that I was really excited for about PAX was just getting to talk about all of the strange things that I can with all the people that come back to me every year looking to complain about how much money I take out of their pockets. But I just love seeing the looks on people's faces when they find something that they've never seen anywhere else. And that for me is the reason why I hang around the booth even when I'm not on the clock.
Yeah, no, it's great. And like you guys, like I said, you do a power of work in the scene. We're really appreciative of it. So I guess all the best for the rest of PAX. And where can people potentially see you at our other game days?
So I will be at the next PlayCon being held at the ICC, the new venue. I do try to get to other things, but I usually just am working every other day. Otherwise, I'm usually at other convention things where people can see me. I will be at South by Southwest Sydney next week, where I'm also one of the judges for the Tabletop Game Design Awards.
Well, that's awesome. So if you want to catch up with Conan, if you want to come to either head to Games Paradise, come to South by Southwest, and of course head to PlayCon afterwards. So thanks for that, Conan. It's been awesome. You've done a fantastic job, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely night.
All good, dude.
Okay, so I'm here with Mike Bantic, so a local game designer who, if you were at PlayCon and played some of the prototype games that were on show in Designer Alley, he showed the Paranoid Superhero. And today I got to play another one of his prototypes called Warehouses, like werewolf, but warehouses. How are you finding your PAX so far, Mike?
Thanks, Joe. As usual, it is a hoot to be here. Warehouses is interesting because it's probably the least prepared I've been for a collaboratory or a show to give to people here at PAX, but it's going really well, and I'm very happy with the feedback so far. As I was at PlayCon for Paranoid Superhero, to those that played it there, great feedback, lots of little changes to fix it up, and happy to move forward with it. It's going well.
Awesome. So if people are going to be looking out for warehouses at a future con, for example, do you want to give a little snapshot about what the game's about?
Okay, somebody did say to me online just now, it's a lycanthropic logistics issue, right? So essentially it takes place over 6 hours in a moonlit night where your warehouse comes to life and must deliver its stock. It is competitive, so there are battles, there are some angry villagers to look out for, but in general it's a pick up and deliver game.
So I got to have a go. I really liked it. It was really fun. The thing that I thought was really interesting is that you would gain cards. You'd then have like an action selection mechanism, which was your warehouse, where you would place your cards on the board, and then you'd then flip those cards over to then do certain actions on the actual warehouse board itself. Thought it was really fun.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I really enjoyed our playtest, and out of that I've got some minor changes. You'll be happy to know some of the randomness is dropping out a little bit, and that's great feedback. That's kind of where I need it at this early stage, and thanks a lot.
The thing I loved the most, I think, was the little minis that you had for the warehouses. Very cute. They had like a Muppet-like quality. I was a big fan. A question we're asking everyone at PAX this time around is, what's got you fired up at PAX this year?
It's always the new designers, and I guess there's a bit of bias there, but I love coming to PAX and just catching up with people. I know everybody says that, but it is a great opportunity because it is pretty rare for the conventions. Thanks to you guys, we've got another one to attend. But catching up with people, seeing new games, even wandering out through the electronic part is kind of interesting at times, but it's a bit overwhelming for somebody like me. Just love the analog part of PAX. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mike, and thank you for showing us your game.
Thanks, Joe.
So I am stood here at the Isle of Feathers booth at PAX 2025 with Daniel and Juno, and they are the creators of Isle of Feathers, and they have that currently on Kickstarter, and it's going gangbusters. Look, we've talked about this in our own circles on the Discord and stuff, and you guys must be really proud. I think you guys should be massively proud. We played this game in the very early days, game day in Brisbane, and I've seen you guys on other socials and doing things, and what's the journey been like so far in just the development aspect of the game?
Well, I mean, this game started out literally on the floor of our house about 3 years ago, and it was no more than just a paper prototype that we'd glued to some player cards. But I will say we took it to our first board game barbecue session, I think about 6 months after that, and since then I think we sort of went, oh, this can be real, like this is a real game. But it's been a bit of a long process. It's been about 2 to 3 years. We decided to be quite inconvenient and get married in the middle of that, and it's quite funny, that's really expensive. But no, since then, especially this year, we managed to sort of scrounge up the time and some money, and we're so stoked with how it's gone. We couldn't have predicted what could have happened in the past month. We are so lucky to be part of the Brisbane game scene. Everyone has shown such love and such support, and we're really, really humbled and so lucky. Yeah.
We've had just a wonderful support from the whole Brisbane and Australian game scene, welcoming us to strange people into the world of board game making. It's been a wonderful experience, and we couldn't be more chuffed with how it's gone. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're on Kickstarter at the moment. What is that like, being in the midst of a Kickstarter campaign? Even the lead up to the Kickstarter campaign, how do you feel like it went? Were you feeling well prepared, or have you gone, oh wow, there is actually like way more little things that are intricate and small I didn't realise?
Everyone's been telling us for years that Kickstarter is a massive undertaking and it's a lot of work, and having now done one, it's like, yeah, Kickstarter is a lot of work. But no, we're I think we were as prepared as we could be when it went live, but there's always 1,000 things to do, especially last minute. But no, we're very happy with how it's gone.
Oh my god, yeah, there are so many. Yeah, there are just so many things that it's hard because it's your own work, so you never feel like it's finished. Like, even up to the end, I had to stop myself and going, oh, but we could just change this a little bit. We could add this a little bit. But at some point, you just kind of have to force yourself to just stop. But no, we've had a lot of help too. In particular, 1,000 Rats, we looked at their Kickstarter campaign to help us guide our Kickstarter. We looked at the Aqueducts one, which we found really helpful as well. Those guys are amazing.
We've also had a wonderful support from Renegade Crowdfunding over in the UK, who were really helpful wonderful with running of advertisements and stuff, which is a whole new experience for us. So we've had a lot of support along the way.
Yeah, and they're very affordable too, which is really great.
No, we've really enjoyed working.
And how have you found your first PAX? 'Cause I believe this is your first PAX. Yeah. Is this your first PAX just attending as well?
No, actually, we were here as part of Collaboratory a couple of years ago, and then there was another one where we just popped our heads in because we had some friends who were around and we got to come in and say hello. But yeah, being part of a booth is a lot, but it's also really lovely. We really enjoy it. We kind of get to hide away back here, but also sort of show our game, sell some stuff that we're really proud of, and we're also working with Eris from Delta Phase Games, who we love, and he's just been amazing. Yeah, and it's so great because his game has got dinosaurs in it. Yes. We've got birds in it. We've just cornered this weird, unique dinosaur bird market.
And the pins are awesome, by the way. Like, I love the mix of the wooden and the enamel. My son got one of each, and yeah, I've got the 1,000 Rats wooden one. So yeah, I love the style. The game aesthetically looks great, and we wish you all the best of it. So
thank you so much. We're so stoked to be here.
Yeah, we're overwhelmed and so happy to be here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your PAX.
Thank you too.
Thanks for being with us for our special On the Ground PAX episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a ripper of a time. It's always nice to be able to hang out with our friends and have a lovely time. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Late night boys.
Bye-bye.
Late night boys.